everyone. I'm Donna Bush with your CIGTV News Update. Thanks for joining us. His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, held a press conference at the Governor's residence on West Bay Road early Thursday morning. The opportunity was provided to various members of the local media houses to answer any questions they may have had.
My impressions are extremely positive, and as I said in the speech to the Legislative Assembly, I think the Cayman Islands have a huge amount to be proud of. Your world-class financial services industry, high quality tourism sector, your highly talented people, very sound public finance, you've got strong economic growth. You have excellent law enforcement agencies. France and Manderson, our Deputy Governor, who did an excellent job as acting Governor, runs a strong civil service with very competent people. And you have a judiciary which is highly respected internationally, and that underpins a lot of the success of the Cayman Islands. You're also a beacon in the region in terms of some of the things you're doing, for example, around child safeguarding, where you're leading the way in the region, and you've supported other territories in the region on crisis and disaster, which again is a hugely positive thing. I see my role very much as strengthening even further the UK and Cayman Islands relationship. I know I arrive at a time when there have been some tensions in that relationship, but I think it's really important that together we work collaboratively and cherish the relationship and nurture the relationship and make it even stronger. Just one example of how that can be so strong is overnight you may have seen that the OECD has changed its rules on using ODA budgets to help territories going through natural disasters. Last year in the serious hurricanes, the UK wasn't able to use its ODA budget to help territories in disasters, but the UK has persuaded the OECD and other countries to change its rules. So in the future, we will be able to use ODA budgets in disaster relief, which will include the Cayman Islands. So I think that's a really good example of how working together we can do even more.
And join us on CIG television Friday night when we will look back at His Excellency's visit to our sister island. And you can watch today's press conference with Governor Roper and the media only here on CIG TV tonight starting at 8 o'clock. On Wednesday evening, His Excellency and Mrs. Roper were introduced to senior leadership within the civil service to get to know them a bit better.
We have the chief officers here from the civil service who do a terrific job, and I think we really rely on them in terms of the good governance of these islands. So I'm really pleased that tonight I can show that I support the very good work that they do. But 3 days in, really positive impression, and I'm really excited about being here.
His Excellency the Governor has invited the senior leadership team from the Civil Service, along with the DPP and the Ombudsman here, to meet with him and his wife at a very early stage, meet the senior leaders and understand a bit about what they do within the Civil Service, and for us to just to get to know him a bit better.
The Governor says he has started being active on the beach as his way to keeping fit. Meantime, the ties between the Cayman Islands and Jamaica were celebrated at a special restaurant month dinner held last week. The pineapple was the star ingredient on the menu, as the fruit holds great significance to both islands and is represented on both countries' coat of arms. Many elected officials and senior civil servants attended the dinner, in addition to local Jamaican officials, members of the local Jamaican community, and clergymen. Premier the Honorable Alden McLaughlin made short remarks in which he spoke about the history of the Cayman-Jamaica relationship and significance of celebrating that interwoven history. Well, again, a reminder to go online to gis.gov.ky if you would like to take a look at what programs are on CIG television this week. Just click on the publications link at the bottom of the home screen. If you missed today's broadcast here on CIG TV, you can still catch it on the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page as well as the CIG Television YouTube channel. I'm Donna Bush, as always, thanking you for joining us, wishing you a wonderful and, of course, a safe night, and hoping you'll join me back here again on Friday. Until then, bye-bye for now. Did you know that planning permission is required for a shed? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know planning permission is required to clear land by mechanical means? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required.
Boating, fishing, and water sports in the Cayman Islands are great, but keep a cool head. Here are 7 tips for fun and safe sea outings. Number 1. Use a checklist to plan your outing. Check the weather forecast, make a float plan, and share it with someone who is remaining on land, stating where you're going, with whom, and when you're expected to return. Visit your nearest marine supply store to get your safety gear. This includes signaling mirrors, whistles, and a flare kit. It's also very important to have onboard flotation devices and life vests for each person. There are different types of vests. Some are for water sport activities such as snorkeling, and others are for going on offshore boating or on fishing trips. Number 2. These items can be lifesavers in case of an accident or bad weather. Number 3. Use a motor kill switch, especially if you're boating alone. In case of a leak or breakdown, always stay with the boat until help arrives. If you capsize, an emergency beacon or locator device can send a distress signal to inform the authorities of your location. Larger flares will indicate distress to a boat, airplane, or search and rescue officials. Number 4. In addition to sunscreen, food, and beverages, it would be smart to have a cell phone. Make sure your marine radio works. Cayman's boaters use Channel 16 to communicate. Number 5. Also, don't forget your anchor and sufficient rope. Number 6. Boat operators should be familiar with the local waters and reefs, as well as the capabilities and functions of the vessels they are using. Always obey the rules of the sea and the marine environment, and have courtesy for others. Number 7. Alcohol and salt water do not mix, especially if you're the captain. Some useful contact numbers are 911. The RCIPS Marine Base is 649-7710, and the Port Authority is 949-2055. Smooth sailing, all!
Did you know that planning permission is required for an addition, alteration, or any material change to your house? The 10% rule no longer exists. Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required?
The Esterly Tibbetts Highway 3-lane roundabout is ready for drivers. It's time to make sure you know how to use it. First, know which exit you need to take. Pay attention to lane arrows and signs. Make sure you use your signal to change lanes or exit the roundabout. To turn left, you always approach in the left-hand lane and indicate left. To drive straight ahead, you need to be looking out for signs and road markings indicating which lane to use. Get in one of the lanes marked with a straight-through arrow. If turning right, you must use the right-hand lane and indicate accordingly. To use the roundabout safely, remember these 3 tips. Know your exit, pick your lane, and signal to make your turn.